Hi again, Sandra Espinoza, designing sewist teacher and sewing blogger, and I want to talk to you today about Halloween. I think that sewing costumes for Halloween is so much fun, and I tend to be unprepared for the things that I want to use in the very short amount of time I have to make things, because I tend to wait until the day before Halloween or even hours before an event to even make anything. So I wish for everyone to be prepared for Halloween and to be able to just pull things out of their stash to be able to make stuff. So I encourage you, this is about really about preparedness and a little bit about being resourceful and taking advantage of the things that you have that you may not think are useful in making costumes. So, number one, I save almost every bit of ribbon or cording, whatever comes on anything that I find that comes in on a gift bag. You know, the handles that come on gift bags. Once those bags are deteriorating, usually the handles are still in pretty good condition. So what I do so that I can recycle, if the gift bags are recyclable, I'll recycle the gift bag, but I'll make sure that I snip out the handles so that I can use them for other purposes, because they're still usually in really great shape. And you can find them in a lot of different colors. You can find them in a lot of different kinds of fabric, different weaves. They're all so interesting. They are sometimes made of ribbon, sometimes they're made of rope, and you can use those for different applications. So I save those. And if they're too thin or too tiny, I tend to save them in a jar. I use straight-sided jars in my sewing room because they take up less space on a shelf, and you'll see my little shelf there in the back. I tend to have these kinds of jars, and I save them so that when I do have more little bits of stuff that I need to take control of and organize, I have straight-sided jars to use that for. So I have little bits of cording in here. I can open it up. So this pink elasticy, stretchy stuff was off of a tag, and I thought it was so pretty. And I know that I can use that for something. I don't know what it is right now, but I know I'll have a use for it at some point. That's why I like glass jars, because I can see what I have. The other thing I want to say is, so I know that this kind of binding will come in handy somewhere along the way, and so I keep this. And I even have some linen, a linen strip. I know that this is good. Straight strips of stuff is always good. Whether I need it to bind an edge for a quilt, or whether I need to just make a fancy little edge on a sleeve, it'll come in handy somewhere. I make sure that I keep things that are nice and that are valuable. I keep those things because they will come in handy at some point. And I just keep them in a bin like this, wrapped around my cards and on my shelf in the back there. So the other thing I want to say is, to take advantage of just little bits of stuff that you find every once in a while. I'm not saying to go crazy in the remnant bin at your fabric store, but if you have a little girl or you have a little boy and you know that you're going to be sewing something for them at some point, or just thinking about what you have and what you can do, I do buy small remnants of stuff. Like this is 1/4 of a yard of fabric, and it's a satin, and it's a cheap little satin, but it's got glitter. It's cute. And I know that at some point my daughter's going to want to have a cute little skirt for something, like tap dancing or something. So I know that I can use it for a project at some point, or she could use it for a school project. And I don't have a lot of this kind of stuff, but I do pick up small chunks of things here and there. The other thing that I have here is this is not even 1/4 of a yard, but it's like a glittery stretch fabric. And I bought this just because I know she loves pink and she was in a glittery phase. But I did buy it because she does like to be cute and she likes to be fancy. But I haven't had time to make anything with this. But it's still on my shelf for the point when I do have time to make something cute for her. Maybe I'll do something for her this Halloween again. But the other thing I want to say is, at some point you're going to have zippers that are like leftover zippers, and these can be a really pretty detail on an edge of a pocket or on at different places. And you'll see some designers now using zippers as edges and details. So I just kept this. It's brown. I know that I have brown in my wardrobe, and I just keep little chunks of this kind of stuff too. I don't have very many zippers that I'm saving, but this is long enough that I know I could use it as an edge of a pocket or something somewhere along the way. The zipper pull is gone. This would literally be me using the zipper as is, or splitting it apart and using one of the edges on one side of a garment and one of the edges on another side of the garment. So thanks so much for watching. I'm Sandra Espinoza again. If you like what you see here, you can always subscribe to this YouTube channel, or you can check out my website at ethelandi.com for more sewing shenanigans. Thanks for watching.